Be me, 27M, office guy, not rich but stable. Kinda old school when it comes to dating. Mom always said, a man should take care of what he starts. Never thought much about it until this night. Match with girl on a language exchange app. Name's Clara. We talk for weeks. She's sharp, confident, sarcastic in a funny way. Not the kind who just laughs at everything you say. She actually makes you think before you reply. Decide to finally meet up. Friday night, city cafe, soft lights, little jazz playing. She's even prettier in person. And somehow calmer. I feel nervous for the first time in months. We talk about travel, family, work. She says she likes men who have direction. I joke that I only have Google Maps. She laughs, real laugh. Not the polite kind you give to be nice. Things are going well. Waiter checks in, refills our water. I barely touch my food, too focused on her stories. She tells me she once traveled alone just to test herself. I respect that. She says, most guys find that intimidating. I say, most guys aren't built for confident women. That earns me another smile. Small win unlocked. Then the moment arrives. The bill, quietly placed between us like a landmine. The classic test no one talks about but everyone feels. She glances at it, then back to me. I pretend to stay relaxed, but my mind's racing. Should I grab it instantly? Or wait a second so I don't look controlling? I remember what my friend told me last week. If you pay first, she might think you're trying to buy her. Another friend said, if you don't, she think you're cheap. Can't win either way. I reach for it anyway. Habits stronger than overthinking. She stops me halfway with a calm voice. We can split it. I freeze. That sentence hits harder than expected, not because it's bad, but because it means something different to everyone. I ask myself, is she being polite, testing me, or genuinely wanting equality? My dad's words echo. When you invite, you pay. Not because she can't, but because you should. I smile and say, don't worry, I've got it. She insists again, not rude, just steady. It's okay. I can handle my part. That moment stretches, feels longer than the whole dinner. Deep inside, I realize it's not about the total. It's about pride, identity, and what modern dating turned into. A constant negotiation between independence and tradition. I push the bill closer to the waiter. I'll take it. He nods, takes it away like a referee ending a fight. Silence. Then she sighs, not angry, but thoughtful. You didn't have to. I say, I wanted to. We walk out after. Rain starting outside. I offer to walk her to her car. She hesitates, then agrees. The streetlights reflect on wet roads. We walk under one umbrella. She tells me about how her last date argued over a $5 difference. Says, it wasn't about the money, it was the attitude. I laugh. Guess I passed the test then? She smiles. It's not a test. Just refreshing. We stop at her car. She turns to me. Says, next time, dessert's on me. I nod, knowing she means it. Maybe that's her way of saying thank you. Drive home alone. Thinking too much, as usual. Was I too traditional? Or was it just the right thing to do? My mom's voice again. Chivalry isn't control, it's courtesy. I finally understand what she meant. It's not about who can pay. It's about who chooses to pay and why. The bill is small, but the gesture speaks volumes. One person showing intention, the other showing respect. Few days later, Clara texts me first. Coffee this weekend? I say yes, and she adds, and I'm paying this time. Fair deal. I laugh. Maybe balance doesn't mean 50-50-ish. Maybe it just means both people try. Months later, we're still seeing each other. First date becomes one of those memories we always tease about. She tells me, you know, if you'd let me pay that day, I'd have thought you weren't serious. I say, And if you hadn't offered, I'd have thought you expected it. Both laugh. Both right in our own ways. Sometimes it's not about who's right. It's about who leads with intention. So yeah, who should pay on the first date? I still think the man should. Not because women can't. Not because men must. But because someone has to make the first move of care. And if you're the one asking her out, you lead the moment with grace. Real respect doesn't shout, "I can afford it." It quietly says, "You're worth it." That's all it ever meant. A small gesture. That still matters.